Okay, so before anything, I gotta give claps up to my girl Lucy Heart Failure. This chapter, one of the best things that it did, I felt, is once again giving Lucy a great moment to shine. That's honestly one of the best things I felt that this chapter provided, because just her strategy, her being useful was, I love it. I think Hero recognized, and he's been doing this for a while, he recognized what he needed to do with her character, and this chapter yet again was a great example of what Lucy Heart Failure could have been all along, but nonetheless, she's finally arrived where she needs to be, and that's basically being fucking useful and using her magic in a strategic way to take out stronger opponents. That's not to say that she did it all by herself, because to be honest with you, it was a combination attack that really took him out. You know, Jason Statham, which honestly, the references, the character design, everything, transport and all that shit, like, it's totally an homage to him, which is cool as shit because manga don't really do that too often. So yeah, I mean, he's not as badass as Jason Statham by any means, but he was still pretty cool. I will say one of the negatives about the fight is I think it should have been longer, and I think there should have been a little bit more consequences. I think he should have done something a little bit darker. I guess the thing Hero was trying to justify of like, yes, he did something, was that, you know, he was basically torturing Mavis and shit like that. But there could have been something a little bit more dire to it, and again, it could have been a longer fight. It should have been a longer fight because this is one of the people, you know, one of the freaking 12. Like, I wanted to see him really, you know, let loose and just do a lot of fucked up and dark things. So I don't like how they added a little bit of a comedic aspect towards the end of the fight, where it was just kind of like, you know, fucking Jason Statham's blasting off away. I was like, really, bro? Really? But the fact that it was a combination again, with Lucy using her magic to clone that fucking weirdo motherfucker and use his magic to kind of render him a little bit defenseless, that Makarov really going in, which we know Makarov is strong as shit, and then on top of that, Natsu, which I still don't even think the dude is like dead or anything. I think he's probably just gonna get knocked around, and I think he will be back. I think we'll see him in a fight against someone else later on down the road. So it's kind of like, yeah, I didn't like the kind of comedic aspect of it, but you got to take into account Lucy did honestly the best job she's done probably all of the series, again, using her magic strategically. You have Makarov going full force with a fucking punch straight to him, and then you have Natsu on top of all that. So they at the very least were able to fend him off, but it wasn't like they killed him or anything like that. So that's what I appreciated about this chapter and this fight. The beginning of the chapter with the little Zeref thing, honestly, it wasn't too necessary, but I guess it's yet again him showcasing that he really, aside from probably Acnologia, he has nothing to fear anymore, because he sees that Mavis pretty much ain't gonna do shit, and she won't pull the trigger on Lumen Histore, or, you know, whatever you want to call it at this point. Natsu doesn't have the magic that he once had to take him out, so he's like embracing more and more his dark side, and he's just kind of like, fuck it all. But yeah, honestly, I felt as though the fight could have been longer, could have been a little bit more deadly, and I didn't like the comedic aspect. However, the teamwork, the strategy, and the fact that he wasn't killed or anything like that, he was just kind of fended off, made it for a pretty decent fight. It wasn't an amazing fight, but it made Lucy's character shine, and at the same time, it gave Makarov his first moment in, like, I don't know, 20 billion years, so there's that. So yeah, it was a pretty damn good chapter, honestly. I want to say 7.5 to an 8 for this chapter. I, again, stress, it wasn't a great fight, should have been longer, and I didn't like the way it kind of was like blasting off again, but you look into it or whatever, it was like, it was pretty decent. So double review for Fairy Tail, and oh my gosh, this latest chapter of Fairy Tail, yo, what happened to Sabertooth and Blue Pegasus, them being crucified and shit like that, that gives me really like a feel of, okay, these motherfuckers are merciless. They're what I wanted them to be, the Alvarez Empire. They don't give a shit, and the fact that they owned them and then crucified them on some cruel shit, that really builds up the threat that we have with the Alvarez Empire, and I'm loving it. Like, I think that that was really adding a nice touch to showcase this is a war indeed, and not everyone is gonna just be able to slip their way through and beat everyone's ass. So this chapter definitely hyped up August and kind of how he's going to be this really big threat. I'm curious to see exactly what his powers will be and everything, because I mean, they were like, you know, the 8th month, and it's kind of a pun on the 8th month, even though it's September or whatever, but I'm really curious to see what his power is going to be, and kind of why they hyped him up in a sense, because when he was in that 3-man trio, he was just kind of in the back burner, letting the other dude do, you know, everything, and then of course he got fucked by Acnologia. But you would think if this guy is that real strong motherfucker, that he wouldn't be able to just do it all by himself, but maybe they just kind of hold him because he's so damn damn strong that, yeah, he didn't even need to step in that fight. That could possibly be as well. But, yo, the way they're hyping it up, I'm expecting some awesome stuff. Please don't let me down, hero. And Natsu thanking Miss Brandish, we know why he was really thanking her. It wasn't for the healing. It was for having such a nice ass. So let's be real here, Natsu. Maybe it's just me, but the guild being fucked up and having to be rebuilt, I'm just like, this is like the umpteenth time that happened. It's like, it doesn't even faze me at this point. It's not like, oh man, we took a real hit, because it was completely destroyed at one point. They lost it at one point. Like, yeah, the guild having to be rebuilt, especially in this war, like, I wouldn't even bother really rebuilding it right now, because who knows, somebody could come again and destroy it just like that. So why are you gonna rebuild it at a time where it could get destroyed, tomorrow or in 10 minutes? I think this is 100% confirming by the end of Fairy Tail, Mavis will 100% be gone, because if Kana's gonna destroy her illusion body, and then she's gonna probably awaken from her Lumen Histore fairy heart slumber or whatever, we're gonna see Mavis completely gone by the end of the series, which was kind of to be expected. I guess you didn't really think, this wandering spirit was gonna be around forever and ever, so this is leading towards it, with Kana having to destroy the illusion, then she's gonna get up. But I'm curious, what is the plan that she has for Zeref? I'm scared that it's gonna be if she just hugs him and says I love you or something like that, that's her strategy of defeating him, just using love, because it's like, no, I do not want to see Zeref defeated with a hug or a kiss. Please don't do that, hero. I'm scared right now with that, because what else could be her plan? What else could, I mean, she's a fairy tactician, but what could it be? Please don't be that, though. Please. And then also with this chapter, we got the introduction to another one of the Spriggan 12 members, Nineheart, and him using basically people's memories to, I don't know if he created an illusion or replicated, the person himself, Simon or Simone. I never remember how to pronounce his name. So that's kind of interesting. And I mean, we've had something similar like that happen, I think, in Fairy Tail before with one of the people from Tartarus, if I'm not mistaken. But overall, still exciting stuff. And honestly, this was a very good chapter. I mean, we introduced a new member of the Spriggan 12. We had the whole shit that happened to fucking Sabertooth and Blue Pegasus, them getting fucked up and then hung there crucified and shit like that. And we have Kana about to destroy Mavis's fake body, and then even the beginning of the chapter hyping up August. A lot of really good stuff. Very good chapter. I want to say 8 out of 10 for this one. Very good setup. Just kind of scared with a couple aspects. I don't want August to go down easy. Nineheart, we'll see where the fight leads, but he's a Spriggan 12, so I'm expecting something good from him as well. Let me know what you thought of this one, though. First of all, what do you think about August? What do you think his power is going to be? Are you hyped for Nineheart? And what do you think about this whole Mavis thing? You think she's going to be gone for good after she hugs? Like, do you think it's a huge possibility that Zeref is going to go down by love and a hug or some shit like that? And if so, like, I'm sorry, that'll be one of the worst things I've ever seen. I'm really hoping that that's not the case, but you never know. And your thoughts of the chapter. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed anything about this video, make sure to drop me a like. Greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk me on Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.